It was late June, and the heat had started to weigh everything down. I was already drained from a long, demanding week at work. So when my car suddenly broke down in the grocery store parking lot on my way home, I nearly burst into tears on the spot. I had no clue what was wrong with it, and honestly, I'm the kind of person who struggles just to refill windshield washer fluid. I stood there completely helpless. I called roadside assistance, but they said it would be hours before anyone could get to me. That's when I remembered. My nephew Josh was staying with us for the summer. Josh had just turned 22 and was studying mechanical engineering at a state university. He had always been a hands-on kind of person, taking apart radios, fixing broken fans, and more recently, helping his professor restore a vintage car. Mechanical things just made sense to him. I decided to give him a call. He picked up right away. "Hey, Aunt Caroline, what's up?" he said cheerfully. Feeling slightly embarrassed, I explained what had happened. Without missing a beat, Josh offered to come find me. When he arrived, he looked like he had stepped right out of a repair shop. Grease-stained t-shirt, baseball cap turned backward. I couldn't help but laugh. "Let's see what we've got," he said, popping open the hood. I stepped back and watched as he worked with surprising confidence. After about 20 minutes of tinkering and muttering to himself, he shut the hood and smiled. "Try it now," he said. I turned the key, and just like that, the engine roared to life. "Josh, what did you do?" I asked in disbelief. He shrugged modestly. "Just a loose wire near the ignition coil. Nothing major." Nothing major? He just saved me from hours of waiting in the sun and at least $100 in towing fees. I gave him a huge hug and promised him his favorite dinner that night, my not-so-famous fake ziti. Back at home, he helped me carry in the groceries. I kept thanking him, but he just brushed it off with a smile. "Really, it was nothing," he said. But I could tell he appreciated the thanks. Over dinner, we talked more deeply than we had in years. I asked about his studies, his passions, and what he hoped to do after graduation. He told me he wanted to open a garage, but not just any garage. "I want it to be a place where people from the community can learn how to fix their own stuff, even if they can't afford a mechanic," he said. I was genuinely impressed. It's rare to hear such purpose and thoughtfulness from someone so young. It hit me how much he had grown. This was the same kid who used to leave soda cans all over my coffee table during family gatherings. After dinner, we stayed up talking even longer. It had been ages since I'd had such a warm, sincere conversation. I felt lighter somehow, like something inside me had shifted. The next day, Josh asked if he could take another look at my car. "Just want to make sure everything's in order," he said. I handed him the keys, and he got to work in the driveway while I tidied up the house. A few hours later, he came back in with a sheepish grin. "Okay, so I may have gone a little overboard," he said. I raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" He motioned for me to follow him outside. When I stepped into the driveway, I stopped in my tracks. My car looked different, cleaner, shinier. Josh had washed every inch of it, fixed a dent I hadn't even mentioned, and replaced the old crusty windshield wipers with brand new ones. "Josh," I gasped. "You didn't have to do all this." He grinned. "I wanted to. Call it a thank you for letting me crash here for the summer." It was one of the most unexpected and touching gestures I'd received in years. I was genuinely moved, but Josh wasn't finished. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a small device. "I've been working on a project," he said. "It's a car diagnostic tool. I built it myself. Want to try it?" He plugged the little gadget, with its wires and small screen, into a port under the dashboard and tapped a few buttons. A moment later, the screen lit up with data. "It tells you what might be going wrong before it becomes a real issue. I thought you might want to test it." I stared at the screen in awe. "Josh, this is incredible. You made this?" He nodded. "Still working out some bugs, but yeah, I think it could really help people." He handed me the prototype and asked me to jot down anything I noticed or liked. I was blown away, not just by his intelligence, but by his heart. In the weeks that followed, Josh became a bit of a local legend. Word spread that he could fix pretty much anything. Neighbors started showing up at our door asking if he could look at their bikes, lawnmowers, and even old toasters. He never charged a dime, just smiled and said, "Happy to help." I watched him with quiet pride. What he had done for me was just a glimpse of the good he was capable of bringing into the world. But the moment that truly floored me came a few weeks later. I came home from work one evening to find Josh sitting in the driveway with Mr. Patterson, our elderly neighbor from a few houses down. Mr. Patterson's old Ford hadn't worked in years. He couldn't afford the repairs and had been taking the bus everywhere. Josh had fully restored the car. He'd been working on it in secret, gathering spare parts from junkyards and doing all the labor himself. When the engine finally started, Mr. Patterson was speechless. Then, with tears in his eyes, he hugged Josh like he was family. That moment stayed with me. It was pure, heartfelt, and beautiful. Later that evening, Josh and I sat on the porch watching the sunset. "You really went all out," I said. He nodded. "I just think if I can make someone's life a little easier, even in small ways, it's worth it." I told him how proud I was of him and how lucky I felt to have him around. He looked down, smiling bashfully. "You always believed in me, even when I was just the kid who broke your vacuum trying to fix it." We both laughed at the memory. That summer, Josh didn't just fix my car. He reminded me how powerful it is to give without expecting anything in return. How small acts of kindness can ripple out further than we realize. He changed something in me. I started paying more attention, offering help where I could, even if it was just listening or baking cookies for a neighbor. When Josh finally packed up to return to college, the house felt strangely quiet. But he didn't just leave behind his tools and car parts. He left behind inspiration. And I know no matter which road he chooses in life, he'll leave that same spark wherever he goes. I still drive that same car, and it runs better than ever. Every time I turn the key and hear the engine hum, I think of Josh and that unforgettable summer, and I can't help but smile.